Oh, so if you can hear me, this is the code that I have written. This is the initialization of all the variables for it. These are the starting X and Y positions of the ball once it starts falling. These are menu buttons helping with swapping between menus. These are just images. Title, these are all variables that help with um, basically the apple falling, or anything along those lines. These are all game state stuff. And then these are the different colors that are pulled upon for creating the apple and anything that goes into the background. So this is the preload function for the images, quite obvious. This is the setup, creates the buttons, creates the background. There's not really a lot to talk about how it's just creating menu backgrounds that can move us between menus. Here's the first one, the draw. If we're on the title screen, it will draw the background image. If we are not on the final title screen, it'll set us to apple picking. And if we are on the final score, it'll draw the final score if the screen's set to lit 2. It'll do a next level or whatever. This is basically the state machine. It's just deciding what it has to draw for the screen at the time. And which different room, I guess, or level that you're on. It all happens in this draw function. So then if we get called to the first one, apple picking, when it's on, it will first create the menu buttons, and then it checks to see which game state you're in. Basically seeing what level you're on, because if the game state is set to 0 and you score 10 points, it'll move you on to the next level. If the game state sets to 1 and you score 10 points, it'll move you on to the final level. Just that. Um, so if the count is basically for the starting apple, if it's equal to 0, it'll give it a random X position, so it can be set from this side of the screen to the right. However, this is just all debugging stuff that you're using to figure out how to do the apple. And then here's the function draw apple. Just bring you down to the bottom of it. And the X is the position where I want to draw the apple, and the Y is the position where the apple has to be kept on getting drawn. That's the draw menu. And then here's the function draw apple. Basically just checks whether or not which color the apple has to be drawn with. If it's green, then it's going to set choice to or apple choice to true or false, which means that it's red. I think if it's true, it's red, I believe. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I looked at it. It says right here. If it's false, it'll be green. That means that you don't want to collect it. And here's basically most of the drawing stuff is right here. Let's doing this. Anyway, after that, this is basically, it will draw the rectangle wherever the mouse position is, but it will always be stuck to the bottom of the screen as it is a basket, and it cannot get higher. This one checks to see if you missed the apple. So if you missed the apple and it's green, it'll give you points. If it's red, it'll create a new random. If it's red, sorry, you lose the game. It's the opposite. If it's green, it'll create like a new random position, so the apple gets spawned up again, and it gets to choose a new color, which basically changes the rest of it. This is if the apple gets collected in the basket. It is the reverse of if it falls off the screen. If it's red and it's in the basket, you get points. Either the new X position, so instead of being out here, it puts the X position up here, and it'll give it a random color. That color decides if it's a good apple or a bad apple. It's green, you lose the game. It's just that simple. These are mouse press. These are out of date because these screens don't work, but this is basically the game state. If it collects on play, it'll move to the next one. This is the function resetting. It resets the apple whenever the game gets restarted, or a level gets restarted for resetting the game. This is the function for the final score, next level, final level. It's from moving between transitions. So if I hit play and I miss the apple, this would be a final score. And I hit click anything and play again, I play again. So it's just that simple. There's a draw apple I already described. Main menu function, I'll send you back to the main menu window. Draw level. I think that's just for the start of the game. It'll just make it so you can't go back to the title screen unless you're on the title screen. And draw menu is just draw this. It's just functions, honestly. And that's really all most of the code. This is all written mostly by me. I had a little bit of help from Aditya at the beginning, but most of this has been changed so much that honestly it's it's mine. And yeah. So